Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Fabiana and today I'm gonna do a quick tutorial of how to clean your Sentro machine. If it's making noise, if it's hard to crank it, etc., you probably need to open it and give it a little grease. So before, I opened it 2 times already and I have it for a year now. And the reason why I had to open is because it wouldn't go at all. So it was like really hard to work with it, so I had to open it. So the past few days I've been looking for other ways to clean it and other ways to grease it. And where I looked was first the Jean and Bean website. So on their website they actually explain how this should be cleaned, and their machines actually 3D printed, but it's plastic as well. So I used their recommendation and I bought the dry PTFE, and they recommend to apply that every few pieces of beanies or clothing or whatever you're making, you do. So every 3 they recommend to open just the top part here and just spray inside where the needles go. So I'm gonna do that, but after. And then I bought the silicone spray. The reason why I bought silicones because in a few websites where people clean printers and they work with other kind of plastic bearings, they actually say not to use the white lithium grease. That's the one I used before. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to actually open the whole machine, clean with alcohol, so I can remove everything that was there before, because they say the mix is not good as well. So I'm gonna clean it all, and then I'm gonna apply this silicone where I need to apply, where there was oil before. So only apply oil or silicone where there was oil before, otherwise you don't really need if it wasn't there before. And so I'm gonna give it a little clean. And one more thing that I read on the Jean and Bean website, I'm gonna put the link in the description below. I'm not getting anything for that, but I think their website's it's very complete on that information. And I'm also gonna put an article on my knittingmachinepatterns.com. That's my website. I'm gonna put an article there, and I'm gonna keep updating as I get the results of my machine and from using this instead of the white lithium grease. Another grease that I saw this guy saying that was good for printers, and because printers are plastic as well, was the Dielectric Grease. I bought that, but it still hasn't arrived, so I'm gonna give it a go to the silicone, and then I'm gonna use it for a week, and then I'm just gonna post a quick update on my Instagram and on the shorts as well, just letting you know how I went. Because I'm not too sure the white lithium grease works, but I'm not too sure if it's that good, because still a bit like, I think it should last longer. Anyway, one more thing that I was gonna say, the Jean and Bean website says that you shouldn't have your machine in hot conditions or sun straight direct on it, because what happens with plastics, like, you know, when you carry a plastic bottle to the beach and the plastic's all weird after it was in the sun for a while or inside the car or whatever, they say that the same thing happens to the machine. So be careful when you go to the beach or when you go to a hot place and the machine's inside the car. They say not to do it. And I can fully understand, because that probably, you know, makes it all hot and makes it all expand, etc. So be aware of that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna open now. I'm going to start removing the screws on the bottom, and then I'm gonna remove the screws on the top. With this screw set here. Says number 0. It's a little bit wider than the one that with the machine, but it works really good for these screws. Okay, so I'm gonna remove them all. So after I removed all the bottom ones, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open this a bit and it should come on. Okay, so I can remove this, which I'll give a little clean as well. And then I'll remove this. So what I did with this is I glued one to another. So I glued both of these from the bottom here. Like I put some drops of glue here and I glued it. And that's because when you're gonna mount the machine again, it keeps moving around, so it's not in, so this thing is not right in the middle, and before you put the screws on. This way I thought it was easier, so I glued both of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these screws as well from the middle, and then I'll clean it off with a cloth. Make sure you don't mix both, don't mix the screws because they are not the same size. Actually works really good with this number 1 here. Don't know what this number 1 means, but it's a little bigger than the one that comes with the machine. So after I did this, I can remove this white part too. And here you go, that's the grease, and inside the hooks I'll have to wash all this. There's even hair inside it. See? So I'll remove this and I'm gonna clean as I go. I'll remove this as well, which I don't really think you need because I've been using the tube option even to make panels, and that's because it doesn't lock my pegs, so I can use straight from number 1. So when you remove this, all the pegs, it's really dirty, really dirty. I'm gonna put all the pegs here, and that's why I have the paper on the bottom, because they are dirty. As you can see, it's really black and dirty. And it wasn't like that on the first time, and that's why I want to try the silicone. So I'm gonna give all this a little clean. So I opened these for the first time, so as you can see here, let me see, very dirty, so I'm gonna clean that too. So I'm cleaning with this antibacterial wipes, and I also got some vinegar, but I didn't use the vinegar, so this one actually works fine. So I just want to make sure I remove everything that was there before to put a new thing, so they, you know, they don't fight with each other using the grease with the silicone. So trying to just fully get rid of everything, and this is working good. So I'm gonna keep cleaning. I'm gonna clean all the parts and the pegs as well, and then I'm gonna apply the silicone here on the bottom. I'm gonna apply the silicone inside this part here because it was greased, as you can see. It came like that from the factory because that's the first time that I opened. Make sure you don't leave any, you know, any pieces of this cloth here. Just fully remove it, and then I'm gonna apply the silicone because I wanted to really try and see if it works better, because the lithium grease made it, and plus this was full of hair as well because I've been losing a lot of hair. So I cleaned this part here, and I cleaned all the pegs as well, and I cleaned this inside and in here. and this part here that was really dirty. So now I'm going to clean the rest of it, starting by piece. So I'm gonna keep cleaning here, all these parts. And I'm gonna show you guys where I'm gonna grease it. See, here it has to be greased. And as well inside each one of these gaps where the needles go. So I'm gonna clean one by one. It's a slow process, but it has to be done. Then clean here as much as I can, and then start putting the machine back in place. Start putting all the needles back in place. See, there's something else I don't like about this white grease. It starts to come up on the top of the machine as you use it. So let's see if the silicone works better. Like every website talking about plastic bearings was saying not to use white lithium grease. So I don't know anymore, I'm just trying. So yeah, I'm gonna try this silicone and see how I go, and I'll let you guys know as soon as something happens, or if it goes good in a week. So I have each part here, and I had to wait a little bit for them to dry because they get a little wet after you cleaned with that cloth. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start going one by one, and where I had the oil before, I'm going to apply this. Make sure you put that paper back again, so because it's wet. This one's wet. One more thing, you should wear gloves. I actually didn't put gloves, but you should, I think. So I'm gonna apply here, there. On the top here, there's a bit of rubbing. So I did apply on the bottom here, on the bottom of this one, and on the top as well. And I'm gonna apply here inside each one of the I'm gonna apply here as well. I'm gonna apply a little. I don't think this needs much. Also here, because there was before. I actually need to put this. So there was here as well. Just doing a little bit, not overdoing much. Inside there, there as well. This. Now I'm gonna put this one back. So I'm gonna keep applying this silicone oil everywhere, and then after I apply this, I'm gonna put this only where the needles go, and then I'm gonna put the needles back. Remember that the needle number 1 has to stay just before this here. That's where your needle number 1 is gonna be, because I was a bit confused about that, okay? So before I close my machine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this anti-friction one here. So only on the base of the needles, not on the top of the pegs, otherwise it's gonna smell on the top of your pegs, on the yarn. I thought this would be dry, but it's not dry, so let's see, here we go. So only on the base of it, not on the top of the pegs, okay? The top is very clean, doesn't even barely touches where the oil is, okay? Oh, the oil is gonna, actually, I just to tell you that's both of these, they don't actually smell bad. And if you read on the back here, it says you can use in plastic both of them, okay? So after this, I'm gonna put this one here. So this part here is gonna be right on top of your white pad, okay? And then I'm going to put the bottom. So it has to be facing this way. See, it's bigger here. This part has to be on the top. It's like this. There you go. So this part here to the top, it's bigger a bit. And then you can start trying and seeing if it seems to be working really well now. I'm gonna put this one back. So now I take put for the white one, the 48 here. See, that's where the white goes. Make sure all the pegs are right in the middle. Sorry. There you go. Okay, try it again. You're supposed to do that a few times before you before you try just so the oil goes through well. Okay, and now let's put this last bit here. Where's it here? So this part right here. And then make sure this is working. Make sure this is working, and make sure when you on panel, make sure the row counter is working properly. So just to explain quickly, the way the row counter is, when it goes through this, over this thing here, this part here, it counts the rows with this little thing here. I'm gonna try again and see if it works. If it does now. There you go. Okay guys, so this is working. It seems to be very soft and smooth to use. I'm happy about it, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put the screws in the middle here, and then I'm going to put the screws on the bottom, and then after a week I'll let you guys know how did I go, but my first impression is that it's very soft, very smooth to use, so quite happy about it. So leave me a comment, let me know. First I want to tell you something. I actually used, the first time I opened 3 times already. First time I used all machine oil. Didn't like that, so I think it's a no-go, because I saw in many websites talking about printers and plastic gears. They said not to use machine oil, so no machine oil. The white grease worked well, but it's still a bit noisy after a few weeks. So I'm giving these new things a go. See how I go. And if you wanna try Dielectric Grease, I bought some. If you wanna try that, I think that might work, because I saw this review of this person had a lot of experience working with printers and little plastic bearings. and that's what he uses, so I'll give it a go next time, but pretty happy about it. Okay, let me know in your comments what you like to use, what worked for you, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. So just an update for you guys, this thing didn't really work well, it was making noise in the first project that I put on the machine, so this one just arrived. And I really think after using that silicone spray that you need a grease. So this grease, Dielectric Grease, I found on a comment that on this guy that works with lubrication of printing machines, and they're all plastic as well, and that's what he said he uses for years, so I'm gonna give this one a try. I think he went really hard on the parts where the pegs are, so that's where I'm going to put. This is silicone as well, it's a silicone grease by what I read on the package, so I'm going to just put it here and spread a bit. Put a little bit in each here. Not much thicker than the other one, so let's see how I go on this try. Well, let's see how I go. I'm gonna put in everything and then I'll let you know. It seems to be running much more smooth, so I'll just try my next project here again and then I'll let you guys know. But it seems to me that this one worked good, so this one, not this one, and not machine oil either.